Hello everyone, welcome to another video on the channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss very broad topics, specifically drama as it relates to the VTuber community, and really as broad as the internet itself, maybe at times. But I'm going to try to keep it confined to the VTuber community for as much of the video's duration as I can, because the VTuber community and the drama that it spawns is something that I have a deeper understanding of in comparison to internet drama as a whole as it relates to YouTube and Twitch and other platforms. So that being said, that's my little spiel at the front here. Let's get into it. The subject of VTuber drama is not exactly something that's in short supply here on YouTube, because I noticed there are a lot of videos covering specifically the topic of VTuber drama, because there are a lot of VTubers who happen to be in scuffles or little bouts of drama. A lot of them, and they decided to comment on their own experience. That being said, drama is not exclusive to the VTuber community. All sorts of communities on the internet have drama, because that is just the nature of the internet, and also a natural thing for humans to engage in. It is a human thing, not just an internet thing. It goes much deeper than that. Internet drama plays out on the internet, but it starts with the human behind the screen. People will often say, well, folks on the internet are this X and Y, so and so. The people on the internet are also people in reality. They don't live in the computer. They live in the same world that we do. It all comes down to human beings being flawed creatures. And so when asked the question, can we fully just bring an end, a stop to the drama that occurs in VTuber communities and communities on the internet in general, I believe the answer to that is overwhelmingly just no, we can't stop it. I do believe if we take strides that we can reduce it, but not completely eradicate drama. One thing that I believe that is essential to starting that process to reduce drama in the VTuber community is specifically to talk about things and to have open discussions of these problems that the VTuber community has. The fear of cancellation or stepping out of line is something that prevents people from having conversations, especially conversations that look inward on the communities that they are a part of, because the fear of criticizing that community could lead to their potential exile, and then everything, the platform that they have built, they no longer have. It's the risk of losing it that keeps people silent. Because these cancellations happen so often on the internet, I don't feel that I should have to explain it. I feel most of you probably know what it is by now, but I wanted to just make sure that we're all up to speed before I get further into this. The fact is, these cancellation posts were given the power to do exactly that, as hate would come to these people in the form of death threats or just harassment plainly.
Death threats to them, their family, their friends, harassment, doxing, you name it. I recall one situation where that started happening to somebody over being accused of stealing a design from someone simply for having similar color palettes.
For some, it would be very severe because they rely on their VTubing to get by financially. Though for some, the social aspect alone is enough to make them crack under the pressure. It's a combination of these things that have made these cancellations and call-out posts so consequential to one's career as a VTuber. Though there is the topic of parasocial fans, which ties in with the cancellations, because cancellations and cancellation posts give the fan of VTubers, or rather I should say the hater of a certain specific VTuber, the ability to hold a certain amount of control over them, be it negative or positive. They're having an effect on their life.
This can easily be tied back in with cancel culture, which I'm sure many of you are well acquainted with by now. If you put this seemingly perfect person up in front of a camera and they make even a small mistake, it's game over, fellas. Time to graduate. It is so hard, especially when you are streaming live and can slip up and say something that sounds a little weird, to upkeep this perfect persona. And I think it's even easier for people to distance themselves from VTubers and essentially treat them like trash because they can't attach a real human face to them.
Sometimes these VTubers are controversial and do things to stoke this. Some of them don't. However, the constant is that this issue is something that involves the content creators and the fans, the whole community itself. Coming into this, I was a passive observer. I frequented Twitch and saw the rise of these VTubers, as I'm sure others did as well. This unfamiliar thing quickly became a familiar thing and is widely more accepted now than it has ever been. Because of that, the VTuber community is not quite as niche as it was before and features a cornucopia of different people from different backgrounds and different walks of life, which in turn leads to the community being ever-changing and constantly evolving. Being that the community is changing, I think that now is the time, if there ever were a time, to course correct, or I suppose a better way to put it would be starting to implement and practice behaviors that encourage a more positive discussion, more positive people, and more positive communities. That being said, it's important to note that when putting together a community of people, the social media applications that are being used to do this matter a lot. The VTuber community being as attached to Twitter as it is and having as much drama as it does, I do not fully believe is a coincidence. There are parasocial fans and people who have Oshis or whatever the terminology for it is, but I don't believe that rabid fans are the main reason for the amount of negativity and drama within the VTuber community. They could be part of the reason, but I believe that a large part has to do with the social media platforms that the socialization is being conducted on within. In the context of VTubers, obviously you will have some of your audience from YouTube, you will have some of your audience from Twitch, maybe solely one or the other when it comes to those platforms. But once you start to add things like Twitter, Discord, Reddit into your repertoire, you will start to see those people come into your community and it will have an effect. Influencers will often talk about social media platforms in a more broad way, though they might advertise their content on Twitter or these other social media platforms, not realizing the effect that it could have on their base, their audience as a whole. Especially creators who are putting their videos out on TikTok to take advantage of TikTok's seemingly more receptive algorithm. They may open themselves up to the TikTok crowd of individuals, whether that's the intended or unintended purpose of doing so. Though being on YouTube and Twitch is one thing, it's another thing to have your content centered around a certain topic or thing, which will determine what your audience looks like in that kind of way. If you are a drama creator, which the VTuber space has a good few of them, then your audience will most likely want to see that drama happening and wants to see more of it, and there's a demand for drama that is made. The way I see it, the biggest purveyors of VTuber drama are YouTube and Twitter. Matter of fact, I'm of the opinion that if these VTuber drama creators were to just go away, others would have to take their place, because otherwise it wouldn't get as much coverage and therefore it would not be as prevalent. The demand for the drama content would still be there because it is something that is built into the community. Drama is a negative thing, and I believe it's very plainly stated, plainly acknowledged that drama is a negative thing, which is why when VTuber drama is talked about, it's talked about in a way that is often demonizing those who are involved in the drama. Criticism is understandable. If someone has done something bad, then they've done something bad. Criticism is to be expected. However, this is where I speak my own mind a little bit. I found myself trying to figure out how to tackle this, how to say this in the video. The VTuber community could do with a lot less of the demonizing other people for these small little petty transgressions. And we're not talking about the more egregious things like pedophilia. We're talking about the smaller issues a VTuber has a controversial take that they get smeared for.
I have seen on more occasions than I have fingers on my hands at this point Situations where a VTuber has been accused of something, and no matter what the situation is, no matter how big or small it is, people not only instantly believe it without needing any evidence at all, but treat the issue as if the streamer flat out killed someone, regardless of the severity of it.
Then again, I suppose that's more than just the VTuber community. That is the internet as a whole, content creation as a whole, because that goes into other issues of freedom of speech, what you can and can't say, you know. Oftentimes it's so-and-so makes a response to so-and-so rather than two people have a conversation. Preferably, the people involved in the drama get together and they have a conversation in public, if that drama is public, and just settle things then and there. I mean, is it so much to ask that we just squash the beef? You know, we just talk it out.
If it's something petty, small, and stupid, why not just talk to them?
Talk out the problem. Find common ground. Find a solution. That doesn't involve throwing crap at each other online. You know, something that could end things on a lighter note for the majority of these situations. Obviously, it would be dependent on how severe the situation is, but I feel that for most of these that I see personally, that it could be resolved in the way that I'm describing. The conversation could be so much more productive if we get these opposing sides to talk to each other and then end it there. I know it sounds like an oversimplification, like, oh, it can't be that easy, but these drama cycles for this stuff last for weeks, if not months at a time. Folks don't need to be crucified on the internet. People just need to learn from their mistakes and move on. I feel that this video may be a little rant-ish as trying to get my point out, especially about an issue as discussed as this one can be a little difficult considering just how many layers there are to this. I may consider putting together another video that explains my stance more in depth. The main takeaway from this is I don't personally hate any of the people that I make content on. Really, it's all just, you know, internet deep. That's just about it. It's not nothing crazy. It's all stuff that happens on the internet. We're all just people moving through life. You know, it sounds a little cliched, but it is what it is. I like to think that the content that I make is mostly hoping that these people get better, you know. And by get better, I mean that they turn a new leaf, start getting on the right track, just be truthful, honest, forthcoming, and to have good intentions overall. But maybe I'm a little too optimistic at times. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be all from me today. If you liked the video, please do leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. God bless.